Yeah, 120 million followers, the most followed person on the entire platform. I mean, it makes sense. Look at how she stands and looks at the camera. How does she do it, folks? It's not like you can find someone who's blessed with this level of talent on every block in every neighborhood, at every high school, at every mall, and virtually every square mile of the entire country where people own phones and mirrors. No, this one's special. And to think I was wasting my time idolizing someone who can replicate perfect renditions of the human face. I mean, now I understand why so many people are having a hard time containing themselves in the comments. This is the video that put me over the edge. I couldn't believe it. I called everyone I knew.
You know, after watching Joey B. Toon's videos, I'm always left with the question, how far up your own buttocks can you be without getting pink eye? Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Rudowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot of very concerning news to get into today, especially with the downward spiral to total totalitarian control of almost every aspect of our existence. This, as of course we have bombshell information coming from Haiti and more sinister undercover news here in the United States as well. We're going to get to all of that plus a lot more, but before we do, the video that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is of course from Joey B. Toons. The link to his channel is down below. He does great work, and in my opinion, he definitely deserves a lot more subscribers. And I think he brilliantly highlights how we're definitely going towards an idiocracy society as the average IQ score keeps dramatically going down. And what did you expect in a society where the president's son literally had an idea which he seriously propositioned on unionizing working ladies of the night because of his, quote, expertise in the field after spending thousands of dollars per session with working ladies of the night. This is according to, of course, official text that were revealed through his laptop, which previously the mainstream media said never existed. It was a Russian psyop. Now it does exist. And yet the president's son is yet to still face any legal repercussions for his huge violations of the laws that, of course, you would be heavily punished for. This man also routinely lied on his applications for firearms, a serious federal offense. The federal authorities in response are, one, choosing to look the other way, and two, send a whole bunch of undercover federal agents to, quote, induce or persuade people to commit violent acts. That's the information we're getting from BuzzFeed that is reporting that 12 out of the 18 people allegedly plotting to kidnap the governor of Michigan were all undercover government agents. And according to the defense lawyers, of the 6 people being charged here, they are saying that it was these 12 undercover agents that were the ones that induced and persuaded the group to allegedly plot the kidnapping of the Michigan governor. Of course, we heard about the story far and wide in the mainstream media of a violent group of individuals plotting this. Now we're finding out new details that raise serious concerns about this event, since there was more government agents, 2 times the number of government agents involved in this plot than allegedly the people going along with it. Now, what were the federal undercover informants doing here? What was their involvement? Well, we're going to find out when this goes to trial in October, which of course we're going to be following very closely. Another story that we promised to follow very closely was, of course, the troubling developments that have unfolded in Haiti recently, where the president was assassinated. And as you know, we've been raising some serious concerns about that event. And today, CNN, of all media organizations, is reporting that several of the men involved in the assassination of the Haitian president previously worked as U.S. law enforcement agents and informants. Now, this is not a surprise to us here, as of course we were suspicious about this event from the very beginning. The assassins pretended to be the American DEA. They spoke English, they spoke Spanish. A lot of them were from Colombia. The head of the CIA was in Colombia at the time of the assassination for a, quote, secretive, sensitive mission. And now we're learning that several of the assassins were tied into U.S. law enforcement from Florida and took out the Haitian president, who of course publicly denounced a medical procedure that the ruling establishment wants everyone to take. By the way, we're going to be talking about extensively about this medical procedure on LukeUncensored.com. We can't say any more here on this platform. If you're looking for a platform that pushes free speech to the fullest limit, check out lukeuncensored.com. Also, by the way, just a heads up, our Apocalypse, Survival, and Self-Defense training course will be this Saturday. We are almost sold out with tickets. We have had to raise prices. We have added 2 additional instructors. And if you have signed up already, make sure to check your emails, as we have very important developments and the possibility of another free event that following Sunday also happening, which I think you guys would definitely want to attend. All of that information down in the description below. Check out the reviews we have from past members who attended these events. We have always had an extreme degree of satisfaction of people that participated in these events. They are super fun and informative, and will have you actually doing a lot of the things that we talk about, which we're going to be putting into action, all exclusively here on this event that is going to be taking place near Manchester, New Hampshire. Definitely worth the trip up. The link again down in the description below. Now, I think throughout the entire saga that the world was taken on, especially at the beginning of last year, a lot of people are realizing that governments that lock down their business while allowing billionaires to operate without any concern don't always have their best interest at heart. A lot of politicians have used an emergency situation in order to usher in an emotional response that has resulted in them being empowered even more. And this kind of manipulative, extortive behavior is reaching its crescendo as we have the latest information from Politico about the plans by this federal government along with the DNC that is literally planning to, quote, fact-check private text messages that you send between yourself, your loved ones, or your friends. Yes, the DNC announced plans to work closely with cell phone network providers in order to fact-check private SMS messages if they, quote, contain misinformation about a medical procedure that, of course, the ruling establishment is demanding that you take without any informed consent. Already, the censorship online is overbearing. It's utterly insane. The idea that tech Silicon Valley should be the ones telling you what you should do, what you should read, what you should listen to is absolutely absurd. The hands of information shouldn't be in the hands of multinational corporations with connections to the U.S. intelligence agencies. This is a recipe for disaster, and of course it will be used and abused, and it already is being used and abused, and now the central controllers want to go even further, controlling private messages. Already, YouTube just deleted videos from a former president of the United States and froze the account, and will freeze any account that allow the former president of the United States to speak on their platform. Other political messages are also being taken down sporadically, randomly, setting a chilling effect in our political discourse where, of course, the rules are never clear. We don't know what we can and cannot say. The rules are very vague, and they're that vague for a reason because this essentially scares a lot of people from speaking in the first place, especially when they don't know what they can and cannot say. And if they do say the wrong thing at the wrong time with the wrong moderator, rules that are selectively enforced, they could lose their entire livelihoods. And now, Politico somehow buried the lead here with their article that is entitled, quote, potentially a death sentence, White House goes off on medical procedure fear-mongerings. Of course, medical procedure is not what they said, it's what I have to say, because of the rampant censorship that is happening that can't even allow me to openly discuss about issues that are extremely important to the general public. The article reads directly, quote, Biden-allied groups, including the DNC, are also planning to engage fact-checkers more aggressively and work with SMS carriers to dispel misinformation about medical procedures that is sent over social media and text messages. Already, private messages are being monitored and censored on Twitter, the platform that you're reading about this article about, as we learned from Joe Rogan, who talked about how he can't even share medical reports and studies surrounding an alternative to another medical procedure. And the rhetoric from this administration is becoming more and more dangerous, as they previously announced that they wanted to go door to door to make sure that everyone did take this medical procedure. This is as already 68% of people have already taken it. And we have to understand that this is not just a push here in the United States, but this is a global push, with the country of New Zealand announcing similar efforts efforts about going door to door, finding people who don't want to do what they're told to do by the ruling government. And this plan is absolutely freaky. It's absolutely insane, and it's absolutely total totalitarianism disguised as, quote, caring for your health and wellness. Again, also very interestingly, we're not hearing a lot of numbers reported when it comes to cases, hospitalizations, and deaths recently in the mainstream media like we previously did when they were going up. When they were going down, we didn't hear about that by and large, a part of the larger narratives that are being pushed here. But if you look at the chart in front of us, the numbers, especially when it comes to cases, hospitalizations, and death, are still extremely low. So why do we see this last-ditch concerted effort in order to ram through and push more restrictive, draconian, freedom-eliminating initiatives when by their own numbers they are extremely low? Well, that's a very serious question that definitely deserves to be asked. I don't want to speculate here. I am not a medical professional, but this rush, this demand, this new force by the federal government should definitely be questioned socially and politically, as the Biden administration just launched the first, quote, FEMA surge team in order to boost the amount of people that will take this medical procedure. They just launched this in Nevada with federal employees that will, quote, assist state agencies and community partners with trying to get more people to take this procedure. Already, the Biden administration has spent billions of dollars for free advertising for Big Pharma for this procedure. These federal employees that were announced will be, quote, at call centers now and in neighborhoods canvassing, giving out flyers, information, and talking to people and doing other outreach efforts specifically to try to get people to do this. The U.S. Army also told its commands to prepare for mandatory medical procedures in September, which we're finding out from the Army Times. And if soldiers do not go along with this mandatory medical procedure, which they plan to implement according to the Army Times in September, they of course will be discharged and kicked out of the U.S. Army. This is allegedly all coming down from an executive order from the Department of Army headquarters, and according to some U.S. military personnel, this is absolutely bullying activity, harassing, manipulating, and forcing people to make a medical decision for themselves that they wouldn't ordinarily make if it wasn't for these larger coercion efforts. Again, this is not according to me. This is according to some U.S. military personnel that have raised concerns about this. And I think the concerns are definitely warranted, especially with all the latest developments that are happening in Australia, that are happening in Canada, that are happening in France, in Greece. And again, I'm going to be talking about these specific issues, what's happening internationally on LukeUncensored.com later on today. But so far, what's happening right now is absolutely perplexing, especially when you look at the raw data, especially when you look at exactly what's going on here, especially when you're able to really look through the veil of a lot of this emotional abuse that has been stirred up in order to push a certain narrative and agenda. But socially, politically, I do believe there's reason to be concerned. If you agree with that, share this video with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever, and because you do, I'm still here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that. Double-click on the link. It's easy. Double-click the link. Send it to, you don't even need to put any effort in it. Scroll down randomly through any direct messages you get. Pick a random person, play the roulette reel, send them this video, let me know what they said. Whatever they respond to you with, let me know down in the comment section below. And because you guys do that, I am still here. This is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.